The Gospel of John is part of what's known as the New Testament in the Bible. It's the fourth book of the New Testament, and it's called the Gospel of John. So, let's get into two big questions about this book. First, who is John, the writer of the Gospel? John was one of Jesus' closest disciples, often referred to as the disciple whom Jesus loved. He was a fisherman by trade, but Jesus called him to be one of the 12 apostles. John was present at many key moments in Jesus' life, including the Transfiguration and the Crucifixion. He's believed to have written this Gospel later in life, around 90 to 100 AD, after the other three Gospels were already in circulation. John's Gospel is unique because it was written with a specific purpose. He states this clearly near the end of his book. These are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. So John's goal was to convince people about who Jesus really was and to lead them to faith in him. Now, let's move on to our second big question. What are the teachings in John's Gospel? John's Gospel is known for its deep spiritual insights and unique content. It contains several key themes that set it apart from the other Gospels. One of the most prominent features of John's Gospel is the signs of Jesus. John records 7 specific miracles that he calls signs, which are meant to point to Jesus' divine identity. These include turning water into wine, feeding the 5,000, and raising Lazarus from the dead. Each of these signs reveals something about who Jesus is and what he came to do. Another important teaching in John's Gospel is the series of I am statements made by Jesus. These are powerful declarations where Jesus uses the divine name I am to describe himself. He says things like, I am the bread of life, I am the light of the world, and I am the resurrection and the life. These statements are meant to show that Jesus is more than just a good teacher or prophet. He is claiming to be God himself. John's Gospel also emphasizes the concept of Jesus as the Word made flesh. This idea is introduced right at the beginning of the book, where John writes, In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He goes on to say that this Word became flesh and lived among us. This teaching shows that Jesus is the eternal Son of God, who took on human form to reveal God to us and to save us. Throughout his Gospel, John emphasizes the importance of believing in Jesus. He records many conversations where Jesus challenges people to put their faith in him. John shows how Jesus offers eternal life to those who believe in him, and he presents this as a present reality, not just a future hope. John's Gospel also contains some of the most beloved passages in the Bible, like John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. This verse sums up the heart of John's message, that God's love is the reason Jesus came, and that believing in him is the way to receive eternal life. So, if you're not a Christian, you might be thinking, okay, well, this all sounds pretty nice, but why should I believe it? If you're looking for a reason to believe in Jesus, John's Gospel will give you several. First, Jesus performs miraculous signs that demonstrate his power over nature, sickness, and even death. Second, Jesus makes bold claims about his identity that are backed up by his actions. Third, Jesus offers a personal relationship with God that can transform your life. John's Gospel presents Jesus as more than just a good teacher or moral example. It shows him as the divine Son of God who came to reveal the Father's love and to offer eternal life to all who believe in him, whether you're a skeptic, a seeker, or a long-time believer. John's Gospel invites you to consider the evidence and to put your faith in Jesus.